Good afternoon, this is The Social here on talkSPORT 2 with me, Olly Clink. Yeah, what a brilliant third round weekend it was in the FA Cup. That's how it sounded on the talkSPORT network. We certainly kept you covered. So many goals, so many upsets. Palace stumped out by National League Macclesfield. Man City putting 10 past Exeter, and Newcastle United somehow through via penalties after a thrilling 3-3 draw with Bournemouth. Harvey Barnes is on fire at the moment. Our manager Eddie Howe spoke about his performance after the game.
Yeah, he's in a really good place. I mean, my plan, believe it or not, pre-game was to play him for 45 minutes and rotate him and Ant. But at half-time, I just felt that I didn't want to close off not having the option of playing with two out-and-out wingers who that's their positions. We were limited with Jacob Murphy's absence, so I kept him on the pinch, and then he's ended up playing 120 minutes. So, yeah, not too pleased with that aspect, but very pleased with his performance. And again, really pleased the fact he's played both sides. He scored off the right, he's scored off the left. He's in a really good place at the moment.
Let's bring in the man from talksport.com and the star of Inside The Toon on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. The host is useless at that show.
I know, who is the host again?
I don't know. Yeah,
some southerner fella.
How you doing, Jack Cunningham?
I'm good,
right?
how are you? Nice time in Australia.
I mean, I had a great time, thank you. Yeah, it was really good fun, apart from the cricket.
The cricket ruined
it was really good fun, thank you. But I tell you what, I managed to catch all of Newcastle's games whilst I was out there, some of them at very strange times, but following Newcastle United, I genuinely think it's a bit of a health risk at the moment, isn't it? I mean, that Leeds game was absolutely crazy. And then you have this game against Bournemouth in the Cup where I thought we were through and then we were out and then we were through again, then we were out and then we were through again. I mean, honestly, it's entertaining, but my word, it's a nervy watch, isn't it?
It is. It's really strange, isn't it? But at the end of the day, it's 4 wins in a row in all competitions. I mean, we're going to count that as a win. I know it goes down as a draw, but you're off at the next round, so it's a win. So it's 4 wins in a row. And after the Manchester United game on Boxing Day, where we just passed the ball around forever in the second half and looked like we were never going to score, probably playing now and we still wouldn't have scored, it really needed that. And Eddie Howe really needed that as well, because I feel like the noise around him has already sort of died down. Obviously, looking at it, you go Burnley away, Palace at home, Leeds at home, Bournemouth in the FA Cup. You would hope for 4 wins, but you just never know how it's going to turn out. And the fact that, don't get me wrong, the performances are still not at the level that they probably should be, but the players are showing fight and grit and determination. And the fact that Newcastle have not picked up any points from losing positions until that Leeds game shows that the team are willing to dig in and do everything they can for the badge and for Eddie Howe as well. And scoring the latest winning Premier League goal in history, Harvey Barnes. I was in the office, my bag went flying across the room when we scored. Just smashed it with my foot.
I expect nothing else from you.
Everyone else watching on going, what are you doing?
It's pretty crazy, isn't it, Jack? Because when you think about how this season has gone, there's so much of me that thinks it's been underwhelming and disappointing. But actually, on paper, right now, Newcastle are 6th. They're in the League Cup semi-finals. They're through in the FA Cup, and they're probably heading into the knockout stage of the Champions League. I mean, it doesn't quite compute with me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, because I think it's because of the away performances and results.
Yeah.
Because actually, at home, that's now 12 unbeaten. And I think it's 9 wins out of those 12 as well. The Bournemouth game does go down as a draw in the fact that it's 3-3. We go through on penalties, but it is a draw on paper, so it's 9 wins. So we haven't lost at home since that Arsenal game in September, it was, end of September. So the home form has been top draw in all competitions. Still, the fact that they are getting wins there is massively important. The away form is just the issue, and the away performances are the problem, because that's what is causing the negativity around, I think, Newcastle. And also I think there are worrying signs in every game. The lack of control is not there. I mean, don't get us wrong, as a neutral, I think we're probably one of the most exciting teams to watch at the moment, especially when a lot of fans in the Premier League are complaining about the lack of exciting football. That Arsenal-Liverpool game was horrendous, and most people were saying, what is this? Is this what the top teams deliver? Well, come watch a Newcastle game. It's absolute carnage, because neither team has control of the ball realistically in the game. I mean, the Leeds match, if I go about that one, I think Eddie Howe just embraced the chaos at half-time. I think he realised that we weren't going to break them down if we, try to dominate the ball in this sort of controlling the way and keeping possession. Let's just throw everyone forward and let them throw everyone forward as well, and we'll hope our quality tells the difference. And in the end, it did. It was a risk. The problem we've got at the moment is the injuries at the back four. I mean, we're looking at Tino Livramento hamstring injury. Don't know how long he's going to be out for, but he's had a disrupted season so far. Lewis Hall's been in and out of the team. How many games can we expect him to play? Dan Burns still out. Cher's gone out with an ankle ligament injury.
Yeah.
I think it'd be negligent of Newcastle to not go into the transfer market now and sign some form of defender. I saw Eddie Howe talking about today and saying about the short-term needs and the long-term needs. Well, if we don't make European football next season, then that's going to impact the team long-term rather than it would in the short-term spending the money in January. And also, I think in January, we could go out there and sign a long-term centre-back replacement for Fabian Cher or a Dan Burn. We could go and do that and then just bring them in now, get them a slot into the team. Obviously, Malik Chow's been brilliant. I think he's played 26 games in a row, which is just incredible. And Botman's about to sign a new contract by the looks of it. I'd argue that might be a bit too early. We should have probably left it until maybe the end of the season because he's had some pretty shaky games this season. But look, I appreciate tying him down, but I think it might be a bit early.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if they do any business. It doesn't, from what you've heard from Eddie Howe, it doesn't sound like they're going to be that active, which is maybe quite understandable given that in the summer they decided to spend money, maybe not wisely in all cases, but they did splash the cash in a lot of ways. One man we have to talk about is Harvey Barnes. His form is absolutely electric. I think it's 11 goals now for the season, plenty of assists alongside that too. And it's interesting because a lot of the narrative around Harvey Barnes recently has been whether or not he plays for Scotland. Let's change tack on that and maybe talk about whether he could get on the plane for England. Because when you think about who hypothetically is ahead of him in that Newcastle team, if you're talking about them maybe only playing on the left, of course, Eddie Howe has played Harvey Barnes on the right or Gordon on the right and Barnes on the left. However,
Gordon's not playing on the right.
But apparently he won't move him for some reason. But anyway, what about Harvey Barnes' chances for England?
Well,
what do you think?
Do you not remember I made this as kind of a jokey comment on one of the first episodes of Inside The Toon, saying, you know, if Gordon's playing on the left for England, why isn't Barnes? Because Barnes is playing better than him. It was sort of like a throwaway comment, really, because it was just more Gordon was out of form. But I'm sorry, I'm now changing it. There's been a serious conversation about Harvey Barnes getting into the England team. 11 goals, as you said. Not a single penalty. And I think that's quite big because Gordon's got 8 goals this season, but they're basically all penalties. So, and by the way, I think that's important. You do need to have a penalty taker, and he's a very reliable penalty taker. But equally, Harvey Barnes is scoring all types of goals. It's important with headers now.
Yeah.
You know, he just sniffs out chances, and he is a confidence player. I think most footballers are, but I think there's some who you always think are a little bit more. I always think of Marcus Rashford in that sort of maybe sense, and I think Harvey Barnes is like that. But at the moment, I think Thomas Tuchel would be quite stupid to ignore him, to be honest. I feel like he's playing so well. Jack. He is so clinical.
He's so clinical. And you're right to say that it's actually a variety of goals now that he's scoring. He's scoring from the edge of the box. He's scoring headers inside the areas. You know, he when he's in form as well, and when you've got a player that clinical, he has been so important in a way. And you could argue that Newcastle have been a bit reliant on his goals as well, especially in recent games. So, yeah, it's an interesting conversation. And maybe, I mean, if you're Anthony Gordon, you're surely feeling the heat a bit here.
I think you are. I think Gordon has... I didn't like those comments from Eddie Howe where he was asked by Charlie Bennett from Newcastle World. I thought, well done to him for asking that question about Gordon and Barnes being on the left and right, because in my view, we just had 2 ineffective wingers. Barnes was on the right, he's not a right winger, and Gordon was being poor on the left. So what is the point of doing that? And it was like, oh, well, Anthony doesn't really like playing on the left. I don't care. I'm sorry, why? It doesn't matter what you like. Get him on the right wing. If Barnes is playing better, Barnes should be able to go to Eddie Howe right now and say, I'm the one in form. Get me on the left. I will deliver you goals. I will deliver you assists. Gordon, you can go on the right. He's been good on the right. That game against Arsenal last season at home, he put an unbelievable cross for Alexander Isak. And he's probably better on the right than Barnes because he's got a bit more pace. And I'm just happy with him get down there, whip it across the box, and we'll get people on the end of it. But Barnes, to be fair to him, has even been better on the right in the last few games. I thought that cross he put in at the end in the Bournemouth game was begging to be put away, and Gordon just missed it.
Yeah.
So that meant when penalties, they both scored their penalty, which was great. But my thing with that is I just feel that what's better for Newcastle United at the moment, it's Harvey Barnes on the left and Anthony Gordon needs to be on the right, to be honest.
I mentioned where Newcastle are at the moment in the league. They are 6th. They, as I said, are in that semi-final, through in the FA Cup, etc. As a fan, what do you think is realistic in terms of their aims for the rest of the season? What would you like to see?
It's so strange. The table is ridiculously close. I think Liverpool are closer to Nottingham Forest in 17th than they are to Arsenal at the top of the table, and they're 4th. So I feel like, honestly, from anywhere down to 4th to 17th, basically all of those teams could finish actually in any of those positions. And it shows that Newcastle go on a little run, 3 league wins in a row, and suddenly they're 6th. So it's all about keeping that consistency somehow. I can't see us doing it if we don't strengthen the back four, just because of the issues we've got. Mainly, again, other issues if Lewis Hall gets injured again. I can't be having Dan Burn at left back. It actually spoils our entire game style. It spoils everything. We could get in the Champions League again, though. We could. We've proven this before under Eddie Howe. Second half of the season, we're usually one of the best teams in the Premier League, and therefore one of the best teams in Europe in that second half of the season. And it feels like it's starting to click into gear a little bit now. Like Joe Linton's performances have massively improved. Bruno Guimaraes is playing out of his skin. Sandro Tonali looked better on Saturday. If the players can get back the form we all know they have, there's no reason we can't go on a run, because this league's not very good. It's genuinely not very good. Apart from Arsenal, the only consistent team. Aston Villa went on a great run. They look like they're probably going to finish 3rd. And Manchester City probably 2nd. So then I think after that, every single spot is up for grabs.
There's certainly a chance, especially with so much change at Manchester United and Chelsea at the moment. You're not quite sure how that's going to play out, of course. So, like you say, Newcastle actually in 6th in a bit of a driving seat, really. Brentford ahead of them at the moment in 5th, and like you say, Liverpool in 4th, but only 3 points.
But who would have had Brentford 5th?
Newcastle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everyone had them go down. I had them go down.
I didn't, actually, to be fair. Yeah, there you go.
I had West Ham to go down.
Probably the only thing I predicted, right? To be fair. Just very quickly, Jack, before I let you go, there was some very sad news before the Leeds game about Kevin Keegan and his battle with cancer at the moment. And do you know what? It just feels to me that those two games as well. The Leeds game was the most Keegan-esque game you could have asked for, and then you get another one with that Bournemouth game as well. And it's very, very sad news, but it's great to see, isn't it, on the pitch, Newcastle putting in those kind of performances, like you say, never give up and entertain. Yeah, I mean, what was Keegan's thing? You'll score 3, we'll score 4, and that's exactly what we did against Leeds on the day that we got that horrendous news, of course. And wherever he was watching it, I'm sure he felt that was a real, tribute to his entertainers team, wasn't it? And Newcastle have had a strange season so far, but equally, you can never say we're boring. We're not boring. Absolutely not. Big game as well tomorrow night on talkSPORT, Newcastle against Manchester City. First leg of the League Cup semi-final. Just very quickly, Jack, prediction for that game? I think to have any chance of going through, we need a 2-goal lead. So, because of our record that Eddie had. So, I'm going to say 3-1. It's tough, that game, isn't it? It's very tricky. I know Newcastle beat Man City in the league earlier this season, but very, very tough one. But we love the League Cup. We do. And we are the holders. Come on. It's just nice to say still, isn't it? Isn't it? Crystal Palace fans, well, I guess they still can say it. But they're not going to win it. We've still got a chance, I guess. Jack, thank you very much indeed. Jack Cunningham there, star of Inside The Toon. And there'll be a new episode out on Wednesday and Friday this week. If you want to find it, it's on the talkSPORT YouTube channel and the talkSPORT Newcastle YouTube channel as well. This is The Social here on talkSPORT 2 with me, Olly Clink. Up next, we'll get the latest odds from William Hill. talkSPORT.